Hello, friends. Good evening, and welcome you all to this session. We really appreciate your taking out time and joining us for this session today, which is change your life's orbit. This is about developing emotional intelligence. 2020 has been a very rough year for many people, and people experienced a variety of emotions, mostly negative. The thousands of people that I interact with in my sessions from all over India and across the world, people talk about having fear, being anxious, sad, depressed, many different emotions. And one of the research study says that most of the people push their way through the emotions rather than really feeling them and managing them. And that is something which got me thinking, whether we are fools as far as managing our emotions go, or are we really intelligent and manage our emotions. Part of the problem may lie in the fact that in our schools, the entire focus is in on developing our mental faculties and not so much on teaching us about our emotions and how to be in touch with them and how to manage them. And I have seen, and I'm sure you have seen, many examples of people who are highly intelligent but struggle to manage their emotions. And one thing that comes to my mind is this movie which got released recently. And I would like you to share with us in the chat box whether the protagonist of this movie, the hero of this movie, was emotionally intelligent or was an emotional fool. Was he comfortable handling his emotions? You can unmute yourself and speak, or share with us in the chat box. If you think he was an emotional fool, please type EF. Or if you think he was emotionally intelligent, please type EI in the chat box. Or if you have any other different opinion, feel free to share with us, unmute. He was an emotional fool. That's what Aman says, and I tend to agree with him. He really struggled uh, with managing his emotions. Asta, you have any view? You seem to.
I don't want to give the view right now, as I'm sure each one of us will find out in
Okay.
the session for sure.
Sure, sure. I don't want to sound derogatory to anybody, but this is one of the things that happens to. You can keep your comments keep coming in while the comments are coming. I'll just share what I feel about this. We tend to numb our emotions. We tend to not feel our feelings, and sometimes it is considered a macho thing, that I'm a man and I. Uh, Ajit says emotional fool. Asta, hi. So I'm a man. I'm a macho guy. I'm not supposed to feel emotions. Those are the kind of conditioning that we have received in our society. That is another reason. And I won't say that I am very emotionally intelligent. I would till some time back fallen in the category of emotional fool myself, not having numbed my emotions and not being in touch with the emotions because of some of the tragedies which took place in my life. I lost my father at a very early age, and I had to deal with the situation. And one of the ways my coping mechanism was not to feel the feelings. It's just to get the things done, just get moving, just take care of everybody without paying attention to how I was feeling myself. So there can be different situations people are in, and we don't tend to feel our feelings. Ambika says he was not able to handle his emotions. That's very well said, Ambika. Really appreciate that. So it's not an easy thing, but the fact is, emotions are very, very powerful force, And if we are not in touch with them, and if we are not managing them, we are restricting our own growth. And that is why the topic of this session today, change your life's orbit, taking it to the next level. That is what we are going to be talking about. This session is the fourth session in our Dar Se Dream Tak series that we launched on 26th of December. As I was mentioning earlier, I find a lot of people dealing with, or struggling with negative emotions. And I thought, that need not always be the way. Sometimes we tend to think that being stressful, it's become so common. These days you have children talking about it. मेरे को बहुत stress हो गया, बहुत tension हो गई. बच्चे ऐसा बोलने लगते हैं. So somewhere we have started becoming accepted. We have started accepting that stress is a part of our life, and that's the only way to live. But it need not be so. And we had this session on 26th of December, and this video of this session is on our YouTube channel, and it was really liked by people. In a short period of its launch, it has become the number 2 video on our YouTube channel. So please, you may, the link of the YouTube channel has been put in the chat box. In case you have not seen this video, you can go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And once you have subscribed to the YouTube channel, please type YTD YouTube done, so that we know that you have subscribed. And in this program, basically what we launched this program, Dar Se Dream Tak program, is a program of 8 sessions in which we will be sharing our strategies, of how we can beat stress and become happier in our lives. How many of you would like to become happier? And in case you would like to become happier, please type H in the chat box. Thank you, Nina ji. Thank you, Rikin. Thank you, Anil. Thank you, Simi. It seems only 4 people want to be happy. By all means, H. Thank you, Ambika. Thank you, Fatima. Ajit, thank you. It seems not everybody who's on the session. Thanks, Shivani. Okay, thank you, friends. So if you would like to be happier, I would like to, if it is okay with you, I'll share 2 strategies which I personally follow and share a lot about with people. I'm regularly invited by leading corporations to talk about it. And would you like to know those 2 strategies that I follow? If you would like to know those 2 strategies which I follow to become happier, please type Y in the chat box. Thanks, Ambika. Thanks everyone. So the number 1 strategy is feeling grateful, being, living in gratitude, having a sense of gratitude for what we have got. It's a very powerful energy. It's a heart energy, and it helps us get focused on what is going right in our lives, rather than get focused on what's going wrong in our lives, which is what we tend to get focused a lot on. The entire media is focused on, sharing shocking news, sharing news which is negative. And we tend to get influenced a lot about that. But gratitude is something which helps us focus on what's going right. And when we focus our energy on what is going right in our lives, that expands. And this is not me who is saying. There is so much of research that has taken place on this. And anybody who is interested in knowing about the research on gratitude, please connect with me, and I'll be able to share all the references that we have. Coming to the exercise now, it's a very simple exercise which I'll invite all of you to do with me. See me first, hear me, look me up, and then we can do it together. So this is a very simple exercise, Lotus of Gratitude, which I learned from Nitya Shanti, and basically it involves bringing our fingertips together like the petal of a lotus. लोटस कीचड़ में उगता है, एंड आजकल हमारे इमोशंस इतने नेगेटिव हैं, उस नेगेटिव इमोशंस में से हम एक कमल उगाएंगे. एंड दिस the sun, the lotus flower blossoms when the sun rays fall on it. So we will bring some positive thoughts into our mind, of what is going right. It could be people who are in our lives, it could be qualities we have, or it could be anything that is positive and is supporting us. And as you think about that one thing, you can open one finger. So it could be, some of you know that I had COVID recently, and I'm grateful that I'm alive. I'm grateful that the air quality these days is very good, and I get to breathe clean air. I'm grateful that I have food on my table. So it could be anything, and you could just think of one thing and open. And when you are done with the 10, then we will put our hand on the heart, and then I'll guide you further. So I'll invite you. You may keep your eyes closed or open, keep them open and soft gaze. And I invite you to do the lotus of gratitude. This exercise takes less than a minute. You can just feel one thing that you are grateful for and start. Once you are done, please bring your hands to your heart and feel gratitude towards planet Earth. Whatever we need to sustain our life is provided to us by Mother Earth, whether it's the air in the atmosphere, or the water we need, or the food we eat, is all provided by our planet Earth. Let us feel a sense of gratitude towards planet Earth, feel a sense of being connected with all the organisms, all the people who are there, planet Earth. And as you are comfortable, please open your eyes gently. And this is a very simple exercise which you can do at the start of the day, or at the end of the day when you're going to bed, or any number of times during the day as you feel comfortable. This takes a minute, but is extremely powerful. My second strategy is living a life of purpose, taking charge of where I am going to take my life to. Most of the people are leading their lives in a sleep mode, drifting from one thing to the other. And that is something which, prompted us to create this program where people can set their goals in certain areas of their life, and live life purposefully. Before I get into the structure of the Darse Dream Tak program that we have, I'll briefly introduce Mindful Living to you, which is an organization I founded in 2018. And the vision of Mindful Living is to help 1 million people, 1 million working professionals to live healthier, happier, and wealthier lives. Prior to starting Mindful Living, I worked in the corporate sector for about 25 years, of which 20 years were in insurance, health insurance, and healthcare sectors, where I saw at very close quarters how people in the corporate sector are struggling with many of the issues like stress, anxiety, etc. In the last 2 years, we have done over 150 sessions for leading organizations in India, like Times of India Group, IBM, Kotak Life, Tata Group, Swiggy, CII, etc. And we are regularly invited by insurance companies, insurance brokers, and universities to conduct sessions for their clients, employees, and their students. Coming to the DERSE Dream Tech program, it's a program of 8 sessions. The first two were on financial planning because finance is a cause of major stress for the people. And in case you have missed those sessions, you can go to the YouTube channel. That's where you will find the link to the sessions we did. The next two are in emotional intelligence, which we are very happy to have Astha take us through this sessions. The next one, which is on 30th, is on critical thinking. What do you think is more important in today's age, the knowledge that we have or our ability to think? If you think it's our ability to think, please type ATT in the chat box. What is more important? If you think knowledge is more important, type K. If you think ability to think is more important, type ATT. Okay, Simi says ATT, okay, which is ability to think. Subhashi says it's the ability to think, which is very important. Surbi says ability to think. So that's, you are all very right. It's the ability to think, which is very, very important in this environment where knowledge is getting outdated, or getting updated very, very fast. So this session will be conducted by Himanshu. Himanshu is a trainer with about 20 years experience. He's a Dale Carnegie trainer, very accomplished trainer. And that's the session we're going to have next next Saturday. And then on 6th February, we'll have a session with Mr. Manoj Nair. He's a very senior HR professional, and he's the person who taught me to set personal goals and achieve them. So he's going to be sharing his secrets on how to set and achieve goals. The session on 13th February, we'll have two sessions on 13th February, one at 12 noon and another one at 4:30, where we're going to talk about two challenges which people are having, in the COVID times. One is the home ergonomics, the pain in the back, neck, etc., that a lot of people are complaining about. And second is sleeplessness, not being able to sleep. So we're going to do sessions on ergonomics and home yoga nidra. And we'll conclude the program with the mindsets of success, where Dr. Nupur is going to talk about how the patterns in our life play out, and at times we self-sabotage our success. So our biggest enemy is not somebody who's outside us, but it's inside us. And so that's what we're going to be talking about, and we'll be bringing this program to a conclusion on 20th February. So with that backdrop, friends, I would like to introduce Astha. Some of you who have attended her session last time know her, but some of you were joining us for the first time. For their benefit, Astha is a very senior trainer and a life coach. Wow, that was a nice music to welcome Astha. Really appreciate who played that. It was not a part of the plan though. But so Astha is, as I was saying, she's a very senior life coach and a corporate trainer. She's worked for nearly 20 years in management development roles. One of the organizations she worked for was Max Life, and another one is Tata AIG Life, which is where I also worked. So we have worked in the same company at some point of time in the past. And we are very, very happy to have Astha here on this session. We got some awesome feedback for the last session, and I'm sure this one is going to be equally exciting, or maybe even more exciting. So on that note, Astha, over to you.
Thank you so much, Ashish, for the lovely introduction. And I'm just wondering, what do I add after this lovely introduction? So, first of all, I like to welcome each one of you to the session. Some of you were there last time as well. I can promise you that there is something new that you're going to get today again from the session. Now, I'll like to thank you first, Ashish. The gratitude that you said, I want to, show my gratitude to you, first of all, for arranging this, for all the participants who are here are because of the efforts that you have been putting in for this session, and gratitude to all of you who are taking time today to be here. Yeah, so thank you so much. And you set such a great context, because each one of us wants to be happy, right, in life. And that's the question that you asked. And today we are going to understand that how this happiness which is within us which is somewhere connected to the way we feel, the way our emotions are, and how emotionally intelligent we are is dependent on this happiness, is dependent on that. And that is what we are going to be talking about today. So thank you for setting that rocking context for the session today.
Thank you.
And now, quickly, a little bit more about myself. So, yes, I have been in this industry of people development, as I call it, for last 20 years. An industry, work that I've been doing is to bring in change in people's life by various methods. Delivering a workshop, conducting a one-to-one session. All of these are means of, changing the thought process, changing the behavior to some extent, and bringing in the results in the form of personal and professional success, I would say. I'm also certified for personality assessment called DISC, emotional intelligence. I'm a certified coach as well, and also I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. So this is what I'm telling you. Why? Because this all has helped me in bringing to you what I'm going to bring to you today, because it's not just one philosophy or one approach, but it's this program and this discussion that we are going to be having today is really the experience and the research and all that I have developed, that I bring to you today. Yeah. So with that, let's get started without further ado. And I'm going to share my screen and the presentation that I have, but we will keep this session very, very interactive. I hope that I'm absolutely audible to each one of
Yes,
you.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Ashish. Because interactive, we all are people with our own mind, own thoughts, own emotions, and that's where, when there is interaction, it will make it very, very interesting for each one of us. Great. So let's get started. Now, as you can see that the name of this session is Change Your Life's Orbit by taking a journey into your own mind. So let us take this journey into our own mind a little bit today as well, right? So let us do that. Now, the first thing that I'm going to share with you, and okay, yeah. So that I want to share with you that what is going to be the objective of our 1 hour 15-minute discussion that we are going to be having is, yes, I would like you to understand what is emotional intelligence, because we have been talking to you about that are you an emotional fool, or you are emotionally intelligent. By the way, I would say that um I would not call anybody an emotional fool, because we might have a different level of emotional intelligence, right? So there could be levels, but yes, some of us have to work a little more, and some of us might have to work a little less, yeah. Or we might have to work on something else other than really on the emotions, because there can be something underlying the emotions which is impacting our emotions. So and how can it change our life? That is what we are going to be discussing today. So how can emotion becoming emotionally intelligent can change our life, and how can we become emotionally intelligent? Because I'm sure this is the question that you will have, that okay, all of this is important, then how do we become emotionally intelligent? So that is what is going to be our session's objective. And I can assure you that if somebody becomes emotionally intelligent, then the three main things that we are all looking forward in life, we all want to achieve professional excellence, whatever we're doing. We want to have a great purposeful life, and professionally we want to be successful, whatever might be our parameter of success might be, right? Some people are into an NGO and doing absolutely charity work. That's also their profession, yeah. So attain pure happiness, because I think if we have everything else, but if we don't feel happy, then again that is a problem. And of course, lead a balanced and purposeful life. So these are the three I would say benefits that one can get from being emotionally intelligent. Now I want to share with you, before we move ahead, I'm sure each one of you has this question, that what do we mean by changing the life's orbit? Yeah, this is the name of the program, and this is what we are trying to achieve with emotional intelligence as well. So, would somebody like to tell me that? I'm sure each one of us has a little bit of idea that we learned in physics, that there is a nucleus of the cell, and there are electrons that are moving around in orbit, right? I'm sure if with a yes, you can tell me that we would have we would definitely know of this concept that there are electrons which move around in orbits around the cell. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So Ashish is saying yes, Simi is saying yes, absolutely. So when these electrons are moving around in an orbit, they're moving in a certain orbit. Now, if that orbit has to be changed, let's say an electron has to change its orbit, what is that is needed? What is an extra thing that is needed to change the orbit of an electron? I hope my question is clear. So what changes the orbit of an electron? Yeah, so let me see if there are some comments coming in there in the chat box. Okay, Simi is saying energy, yeah. More positivity, Uma is saying, yeah. Vibrations, absolutely, Simi. So, yes, push. Arun is saying push. Yes. So, absolutely, you're right. There is an external energy or could be internal energy, but there is an extra energy. There is a push, whatever you might call. Yes, might call it a force as well. But that is something that has to be put in. There is an effort that has to be put in to be able to change the orbit of an electron, and that is what we are going to talk about today, that how do you change the orbit of your life, because we all are also moving in an orbit in our life, right? There is our relationship is in a certain orbit, our professional life is in a certain orbit, our entire life is moving in an orbit, and we are just moving in that orbit every day. Whatever activities we do, it is in that particular orbit. But each one of us definitely wants to change the orbit, because we want to evolve, we want to become more mature, we want to become more happy, right? Some of us might be doing great in our professional life, but we might want to do better in our personal life. We might want to create happier relationships than what we have today. Yeah. Or maybe we want to have a better health than what we are having, a peace of mind. There could be anything that you would be wanting which you are not getting right now because of being in a certain orbit. So this is what this program or this discussion will bring to you, that how you can shift your life's orbit with the use of various tools and that emotional intelligence brings to us. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. So now let's move forward and let's understand that who are we. Let's try and understand our life a little better. So this is what happened with each one of us today. How we act, what our behavior is, who you are, is because of some of the experiences that you've had in life, your needs, your fears that have been there, the belief system that you created because of these experiences that you had in life. Yeah. Each one of us had a life of full of experiences. The experiences we had with our parents, the experiences we had with our teachers, the kind of place that we were born, and we were the kind of family we were being impacted by, right? So all of that created our belief system, and the beliefs are the main key things, guys. Remember this word, beliefs, because beliefs are like like the bottom of the pyramid, which creates thoughts and which creates emotions. And on the basis of our emotions, people see the behavior that we
Unmute. Only
portray
unmute.
to people.
Oh,
So I want
Arun.
to bring your your focus on this what you call this this picture as well. Can you see this picture and see that this is a picture of an iceberg, right? And the reason I have taken iceberg is that your behavior is just the what you call the result of all the emotions, the thoughts, and the beliefs that you have developed over your life because of the experiences and the needs and fears that you have. Yeah. So this is what we are going to talk about, that अगर हम base पे काम करेंगे, that is when the behavior will change, that is when the emotions will change, right? So let's understand ourselves a little better, that where are these emotions and this behavior is coming from. Yeah, what are the beliefs the underlying beliefs. And let me tell you, all these beliefs are stored in the form of pictures, in the form of memories in our subconscious mind. So can you see here, I have written, where is the warehouse? So this is this spelling, the wrong spelling is intentional, because that is the warehouse that we have, the subconscious mind. As we say, the conscious mind here is only like the, जैसे कहते हैं ना कि सर्वेंट, वो सर्वेंट है, बट मास्टर जो है वो सबकॉन्शियस माइंड है. बिकॉज सबकॉन्शियस माइंड के अंदर जो बिलीव्स आपके स्टोर्ड है, जो आपके एक्सपीरियंसेस स्टोर्ड है, वो बताते हैं कि आपका बिहेवियर कैसा होगा. क्या आपको किसी चीज पे गुस्सा आएगा या आपको गुस्सा नहीं आएगा, आपका पेशेंस लेवल स्ट्रांग होगा या नहीं होगा, right? So all this behavior that comes is because of the beliefs that have we have. And I'll talk to you about beliefs with the help of an example as well. So let us understand that what are the kind of beliefs that we have. So we have beliefs about our own self, right? So maybe you have a belief that you are not a great communicator. You might have a belief that about your own self, that I am not so good looking. Yeah, you might have a belief about yourself that, yeah, I'm somebody who does not have much of patience, and because of that I will not be able to handle people who are who are strong, or who are very intelligent. Yeah, so there can be any kind of beliefs. There are several beliefs that you might have about your own self. There could be limiting beliefs or empowering beliefs, and which is what we will come to. And also you have beliefs about others. Like for example, I'm sure you see some people are able to trust people very fast, but some people are not able to trust people at all. Yeah, so that is what is the underlying belief that they have about people, and that is what decides that they will be able to trust easily, or they will not be able to trust a person. Yeah, so there could be limiting beliefs that you have, beliefs that are creating negative emotions in you, and there can be empowering beliefs, the beliefs that are creating positive emotions and elating you, or giving you the confidence and strength. Yeah, so these are the kind of beliefs that we have. But and these beliefs are ones that create our personality. जो आज आप हैं, जो आज हम हैं, all of this is a combination of the beliefs that we have. Yeah, and I'm not going to just give you this philosophy, but with the help of examples, with the help of discussions, we will understand that how beliefs and how your emotions are creating your personality, your expression style. Yeah, our behavior, and of course our entire life, because our entire life is a combination of how we have been living our life. Yeah, how we have been behaving, and what is our personality really. Yeah, so now let us understand that how this personality. So I'll give you some examples here. So there could be beliefs, as I shared with you an example of easily trusting others, or taking time to trust, or never trusting people. Yeah, there are people who are flexible, but there are people who are flexible sometimes, not always, and there are people who are not flexible at all. Yeah, so there is an underlying belief that you need to come across as a strong person. There's a belief that your defense mechanism should be very strong. Now people who have a very strong defense mechanism, they feel that you should not come across as easily available, that those are the people who will not be flexible. Yeah, but if there is a belief system that you need to be approachable, I want to be friendly, or I want to be a person who's likable, those people would be very flexible, because they would feel that if I'm not flexible, then people would not like me. Yeah, so if you agree with this, if you are with me till now, give me a yes or a thumbs up. And if you are on the same page with me. For example, there can be some people who are very authoritative, and some people are adjusting, and some people go to the level of compromising. Yeah, imagine, somebody is authoritative and rigid and is not adjusting at all, but there is another person who is so adjusting that they would compromise with everything. Don't you wonder that why people are like that, or why am I like that? For example, if I were to ask you, don't you wonder sometimes कि मैं ऐसा क्यों हूं, और मैं ऐसी क्यों हूं? How have I become like this? Yeah. So one thing that I like to share with you here, that yes, one of the strongest impact on our personality. So I'll give you a little bit of psychological reason as well of how a personality is made. So from 0 to 12 years of our life is where our personality style is getting made, and our perception style is getting formed, and the impact of our parents at that time is the maximum on us. So lots of us, you would see, are become very very close to one of your parents personality as well, you would see sometimes. And if you agree with that, you know that you, lots of times, the way you take decision, the way you conduct yourself, if you are very disciplined, and the way you approach something, you very close to the way one of your parents did that. If you agree with that, give me a yes again. Yeah, if you feel that. Yeah. So Anil is saying yes, and Simi is saying yes, of course, agreed. Nina is saying. So basically, why I'm sharing this with you, because when you are till 12 years of age, you have the impact of one of your parent as the strongest, and most of the times this impact is of the mother, which is the strongest. Not always, by the way, but most of the time the mother. But yes, the time, if we have seen that, if out of your father and mother, if your father was more influential on the family, or he was the one who was strongly connected with the family, and mother's say was very less, then we see even father's impact as more on the personality of the child. Of course, and also it also depends upon, are you the eldest child, or you the second child, or you the third child. That is also something it is dependent on. But and from 13 to 18 years is when your expression style is forming, and it is said that the father's impact on at that time is more, and their influence is more, because expression style is what we learn from the father, right? So this is but then, as we know, that it is not a set rule, and the rule of every family is different. The influence of mother and father completely depends upon how was their personality style, and that's how our beliefs and our personalities are formed. Yeah. So now moving forward, I'm sure each one of you agree that our different belief systems, our different personalities are impacting our relationships. They impact our professional life, our social life, and also our future opportunities. Because the way you conduct yourself, the way you come across to people, the way you deal with your relationships, all of this is dependent upon what is your emotional intelligence, what is your belief system, and what is your personality. Yeah. So now, without further ado, I would like to introduce to you the concept of emotional intelligence, because please understand, the emotional intelligence quotient that you have right now, the level of emotional intelligence that you have right now, is formed because of all these things that have happened in your life till the time, one, strongly, till the time you were 18 years old. Yes, there are some events, some very very strong events that would have impacted your emotional intelligence even later as well. So let me tell you that after we are 18, only if there has been a strong event that has happened in your life can change the emotional intelligence, or if you're working on your own self, so this external push that I was talking to you about, that only changes. Otherwise, by 18, we are pretty much who we are, and we formed our emotional intelligence pretty much what we are, right? So now, what is emotional intelligence? I'm sure each one of you is very eager to know, and very eager to find out that, what is emotional intelligence. Now, if I were to ask some of you, would any of you like to define it? If any of you has a little bit of idea, or if whatever you are getting out of the discussion that we have been having, would any of you like to share? And I would, at this point of time, even encourage you to unmute yourself and share. So if you can please give me a raise of hand, and we will ask you to unmute yourself and share if you have any idea about what is emotional intelligence. And I know there were some people.
Yeah,
uh,
Suresh here. Can I?
yes, please go ahead,
Yeah.
please go ahead.
So thanks to this webinars, I got a little bit of awareness about EI in the last couple of months. So
Okay.
according to me, it's all about self-awareness, and kind of empathy for others, and how you behave to the external situations at any point of time.
Absolutely. So yes, you're very right that it's a combination of a lot of things. Yes, it is a combination of how we emote, towards others, towards our own self, yeah, and how we regulate our emotions. So if you can see, thanks Suresh for sharing that. If you can, all of you, I'm going to put it in a very simple definition. Anybody else who like to share before I go ahead? As we gave an opportunity to Suresh, would anybody else like to also go ahead and share? Okay, all right. So I think I'll move forward. I like to say that in a very simplistic fashion, if I were to say what is emotional intelligence, then I will say if you know how to intelligently manage your emotions, how to intelligently balance your life, how to intelligently manage, your people, your environment and people around you, because we are not just our own self, we have an environment as well, and we have relationships as well, right? So if you are intelligently able to handle these three areas of your life, which is self, which is others, and the third is environment, then you will be able to, I can say that you are emotionally intelligent. So it is, emotional intelligence is not purely about emotions, like we say that there are different emotions that we have. For example, we have emotion of guilt or happiness or sadness or all of these emotions that we talk about, yeah. By the way, want to just share with you that emotional intelligence says that love is not an emotion, yeah. So it says care is an emotion, and if you feel overwhelming care or attachment or empathy for somebody, yes, we combine it and we say that it is love, yeah. So now coming back to what are the facets of emotional intelligence, so these are the five major facets or major, we can say, areas that we say emotional intelligence has. So which is social skills, self awareness, as Suresh said, absolutely, knowing your own emotional perception, emotional regulation, your own self esteem, your own self motivation. So definitely it is self awareness. And second is self regulation. So one is that you are aware of yourself, but are you able to manage your emotions? So for example, I know that I'm very emotionally expressive, so that is self awareness. But are you able to regulate that? Because you might feel too overwhelmed when, for emotionally expressing yourself, but you need to control that. So that is self regulation. Empathy is where the impact of others come in, yeah. So if can I request somebody is unmuted at this point of time, just request you to mute yourself, yeah. So empathy is when the others come in, because you are showing that emotion or that awareness about others. Motivation is definitely self motivation. So again, how much are you willing to self motivate yourself? And the fifth is social skills. So now social skills is that how you come across socially, how comfortable you are in a social setting, how can you interact with people, yeah. So that is social skills. Now we will go to a step further. These are, again, as I said, five broader categories that are there, but we are going to go a step further. Okay. And when we go a step further, we will look at the 15 facets or 15 areas that emotional intelligence has. Yeah. So can you see these 15 areas on this slide? As you can see that there is color coding as well that we have given to these areas, because as I said that there are five major categories, and all of these are part of every category, right? So for each category, there are subcategories that are there. As you can see, happiness, optimism, and self-esteem, absolutely self-awareness. If you can see that as well, that these are part of self-awareness. Emotional regulation, impulse control, and stress management, now these are part of the self-regulation, the second one that we talked about. These are part of the self-regulation. Then if you look at empathy, so the part of empathy is empathy, emotional perception, emotional expression, and relationship. That is the third one that we are talking about. Then the fourth one, which is motivation, the part of that is emotional management, assertiveness, and social awareness. And of course, then we have adaptability and self motivation. So basically, these are the 15 facets. Now, I want to, at this point of time, include you in this session and this discussion. I'm going to ask you that we will pick up one facet, and I'm going to ask you, where do you rate yourself in that particular category? Do you rate yourself above average, average, or below average? Right? So you have to either write above average is AA, average is only A, and below average is B, A. Okay, so A, and BA. Are we all together? We clear? Yeah. So let me ask you about the first area. So where would you rate yourself in self-esteem? Yeah. So the first area that I'm talking about is self-esteem, and I want you to put in the chat box that what is that would be your scale for it. And above average, okay. So Anil is saying A, which is average. Okay. Simi is also saying A. Shibashish is saying AA, which is above average. Okay. And BA is for below average as well. Just giving you the Ajit is saying above average. Thank you, Ajit. Yeah. So these are some of the comments that have come in from some of you. The others also, I like you to participate. That what is that you feel about self-esteem? So self-esteem is what? Self-esteem is your self-image about yourself, the way you feel about yourself, the way you the kind of inner confidence or inner self that you have. So a higher self esteem means that you are quite confident, you think that you are right when you do things, you know how to do things in the right fashion. A higher self esteem, an above average self esteem would mean that you are completely exuberant about your own self, and you know that what you're doing is right. Yeah. So that is above average self esteem, and we will come back to it, that what does it really mean and how does it impact your personality. Yeah. So that is about self esteem. Now my second question is about stress management. Where do you see, so stress management is that you are able to manage stress well. You're able to manage your stress well. Whenever you stress, you are able to manage it. So okay, Simi is saying below average. We've already started getting the answers. So Anil is saying below average and Nina is saying average. um let's see what else. Okay, Ajit is saying average there. Right. I'm very, very thankful to each one of you for being very honest while responding. And some of you said below average as well. Yeah. Surbi is saying
I
average.
have I have a suggestion. Probably with the COVID thing, if you assume that everything is below average, let's try to work from that. Right?
I agree. I agree. We have had a very, very interesting year, and each one of us, I think we are all in the age group where we would have been born in 70s and maybe early 80s and stuff like that, and we'd never seen something like that in our life. And I understand that this is one event that has impacted us a lot.
And also, slightly, this is kind of inconsistent one. For example, as you rightly said, last 1 year, let's say from March, we've been in a very positive thing and also in the lowest one. It's been like a pendulum, no? The oscillation has been erratic. So that's why I think we take a midpoint and then work on that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Suresh, for sharing that. So now my third one, I know stress management also was impacted by 2020, but another one that I like to ask about from you is emotional expression. Yeah, the third category, which is the favorite color of mine, the bright pink category, emotional expression. Where would you rate yourself there? Are you going to say you are above average there, so that means you are able to express yourself very freely, very you are able to share how you're feeling, what your emotions are with people. That's okay. So we are getting a lot of answers which are below average, above average, and that is a challenge, Surbi is saying, right? I get that. And yes, I agree with you that emotional expression is a challenge with a lot of us. And thanks for being honest again. My fourth question to you is about assertiveness. Where would you like to rate yourself in assertiveness? And when I say assertiveness, what I really mean is, this is not the ability to say no. Here, what assertiveness means is connected to your fear, because please understand that each of this facet is connected to an emotion, and assertiveness is connected to the fear of being judged, the fear of what people will think if I tell what exactly I feel, how exactly I have to say this without sugarcoating, without being not saying what actually I mean. So that is assertiveness. So okay, we are getting some answers of average. um, would somebody Okay, Nina is saying below average. Average, okay. All right. I'm sure somebody thinks that they're above average as well, because they might think that they are fearless in sharing their viewpoints and the way they think, sharing their thoughts. Yeah, I'm sure some of you would be above average as well. Yeah. And the last one that I'm going to ask you is about your adaptability. Yeah. What would you like to say about adaptability, which is the fifth category, which is one of the facets of the fifth category? That where do you think you stand in your adaptability? Okay, so as I can see that some of you are saying above average in adaptability. Okay, let me see some more comments that are coming in. Okay, come on, guys. What about adaptability? This would be the last one that we are going to be checking with you, and then I'll share with you. Last one here, it is AA. Okay. All right, Nina. So, yes, so sometimes it can be very, very situation dependent as well. But okay, Survi saying I'm good. But yes, an above average adaptability would come in if somewhere it is there in you. If your belief system says that one should be adaptable, one should be not rigid, one should be, for their relationships and other things, for peace of mind and peace in relationships should become adaptable. So if there is an underlying belief, then only the adaptability will go to above average. Yeah. From average, if it was average. So understand this. What I want to tell you here is that why are these facets called the facets of emotional intelligence, and how are they connected to emotions? Because somewhere there is an underlying belief under that. So let me take an example here. So let's say if empathy, I haven't asked you about empathy, but let's say some of you who have said that I am above average in empathy. So I'm sure there is an underlying belief that you must be very helpful for people. You must be you must come across as a very helpful person. Yeah. Maybe it was your parents who just kept saying that कि no, आपको हर लोगों की हेल्प करनी चाहिए, आपको हमेशा लोगों के प्रति पोलाइट रहना चाहिए. You should always keep yourself at the back, but others should come in the front. Yeah. So these are the beliefs that are there for the empathy to be above average. If these beliefs are not there, the empathy cannot be above average. And by the way, now let me get the cat out of the bag. Yeah. Which is that it does not mean that having being above average in these things, in these facets, is good. Yeah, Nina is saying I am AA in empathy, right? Because that is how, there is a belief system that has been framed, and that is what does not let you take a priority on yourself. So for example, if जब आपको adjust करना होगा, जब आपको adaptable, so empathy and adaptability भी connected है कहीं ना कहीं. So जब आपको किसी दूसरे इंसान के को कुछ जरूरत है जिसके लिए आपको कुछ compromise करना है, तो आप कर दोगे immediately, because the thought that will get generated is that I cannot be seen as selfish. I have been taught not to be. अगर मैं empathetic नहीं होंगी तो मैं selfish दिखूंगी. Yeah, so if this is the underlying belief system, then empathy would obviously be coming across to be above average. So each one of these facets, for example, optimism. अगर मैं आपसे पूछती कि क्या आप optimistic हो? I did not purposely ask you about optimism, scaling, giving yourself, rating yourself on optimism, because I knew mostly we rate ourselves high on optimism. You would have actually said above average. Nobody says themselves below average on optimism, but let me tell you, we are below average as well on optimism, because when we feel, if there is a particular emotion that कोई भी चीज आप by chance पे नहीं छोड़ सकते, कोई भी चीज आप अनसर्टेनिटी पे नहीं छोड़ सकते, आपको हमेशा हर चीज को देखना है कि वो हुआ कि नहीं हुआ. देयर आर सम पीपल जो अपने बच्चों को भी बोलते रहते हैं कि इसको कर लो, अभी करो, इफ आई विल गो इन द अदर रूम ये चीज होगी नहीं, राइट. सो अब आप सोचो कि ये बिहेवियर लो बिलो एवरेज ऑप्टिमिज्म से आ रहा है, बिकॉज आपको लगता है कि आप किसी पे भी ट्रस्ट नहीं कर सकते, किसी पे भी छोड़ नहीं सकते कोई काम, हर चीज आपको अपने हाथ से खुद करनी है. सो दिस इज वन. अब आप, अगर मैं पूछती आपसे तो आप कहते हैं कि यस आई एम ऑप्टिमिस्टिक, आई एम एवरेज और मे बी अबव एवरेज. बट इफ दिस इज व्हाट योर अंडरलाइन बिलीफ इज, that means optimism is somewhere below average. Yeah, so it is not just being showing that you are positive or showing that you are optimistic, but it is somewhere underlying. Yeah, so now let me if you are you're understanding one thing from this from this slide, that neither above average in everything is good nor below average in everything is good. Also in certain areas, even being average is also not very good. Yeah, so there is a basically a combination that we are. And what is this combination? Now how we will understand is that what is our unique combination, and this unique combination that you have creates a personality. Now let me share with you one of the personality styles. In fact, today I'm going to share with you two examples. I shared last time 4 examples, but I'm going to take only two in this session, because I have tried to dwell a little deeper into how a personality is formed, right? So all the people who were there in the last session as well, this is something that you have new for yourself today. Okay, so let me give you an example of a combination which is being formed by these different facets. Okay, so this is a combination of an ambition and controlling personality, and unke EI facets kya hai? This is how we see their EI facets, because लास्ट टाइम आई थिंक हम ये कॉम्बिनेशन नहीं कर पाए थे कि इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस में वो कहाँ पे हाई होते हैं या कहाँ पे लो होते हैं, राइट. सो इमेजिन देयर इज अ पर्सन हु इज हाई ऑन सेल्फ एस्टीम बट लो ऑन इम्पल्स कंट्रोल. मतलब उन्हें गुस्सा बहुत जल्दी आ जाता है, वो अपने गुस्से को, अपने रिएक्शंस को कंट्रोल नहीं कर पाते हैं. अगर उन्हें कहीं किसी ने कुछ गलत कहा तो इट विल जस्ट बी, दे वुड रिएक्ट, or they would not just reacting on a wrong situation ya gussa, otherwise also their reactivity is faster to everything, so they take faster decision, spontaneous hote hain bahut zyada. High assertiveness, they would talk so straightforward and so blunt that they would even come across rude to other people. They would come across as very self-centered to other people because of this above average assertiveness. Yeah, low adaptability. Yeah, somewhere the adaptability is low. They would, because they're like so rigid, or very very to the point in what they want to do, how they want to do, very sure. So they come across as a they're the EI factors. So this is the EI question that you have for this particular example in this particular personality. Now out of the 8 personality styles that we have, this is just one. Okay, and all of you might not fit in absolutely in this as well. Please understand. So don't say that, so this is not something that would be absolutely one of you would fit in. Maybe you can fit in as well, but ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है, because हमने सिर्फ 8 facets को लिया है यहाँ पे. We have 15 different facets actually. Okay, so हाई सेल्फ मोटिवेशन, कभी भी आप उनको लो नहीं देखते हो. दे ऑलवेज वेरी हाई एनर्जी. उनके लाइफ में कुछ गलत भी हो जाता है तो भी दे विल लाइक फाइंड आउट सम रीजन टू एक्चुअली बाउंस बैक, एंड they will bounce back. Low stress management, absolutely. So if there is something that goes wrong in their life, is not happening as per the way they wanted, they get stressed a lot, they get irritable a lot, and they're not able to manage stress very well. So again, high emotional perception, so they always know what the other person is thinking. They think that I know it all. I don't have to, you don't have to tell me, I am aware of everything, right? So that is a very high emotional perception of other people as well, and how they are feeling as well. Yeah, but low relationship, because there is so much of self-centeredness, that what they are doing is right, how they work is right. So there is a low relationship management. Now, this is one of the style that is there, and this is based on what are the answers a person would have given in the assessment that they take on the basis of the emotional intelligence question, right? But what happens with them? So, if first of all, is any of you able to relate to some of this? Yeah, or is there somebody who is able to visualize somebody who has all of these, almost all of these qualities, all of this emotional intelligence facets? Yeah, yeah, Suresh, yeah, of course. So maybe one or two, or maybe different than what you are. But yes, this is just one style, one of the personality style that comes in because of the low high. And I have not taken the averages here. I've only taken the spikes, which are the low and the high ones. Yeah. Now, what happens with them? What happens with them is their behavior. So if this is the emotional intelligence level, what happens is that they want to control everything and everyone. They're not able to trust others. They're anxious if things don't go their way. या आप विजुअलाइज करिए इन लोगों को, इस पर्टिकुलर पर्सनालिटी को, कि कुछ भी थोड़ा सा भी गड़बड़ होता है तो दैट गिव्स देम अ लॉट ऑफ एंजाइटी. दे कैन नॉट फेल इन एनीथिंग, and that is when something which does not go as per their way, they feel so stressed that they would become irritable, they will become very angry, they will they tend to disturb everything around them, including their own self. Yeah, and they do not like to be proven wrong, so they're so very cautious of everything that they do, that they would be completely engrossed. So relationship would not matter, it would be just the work. I call these people very, very workaholics as well, by the way. So you will surely have this particular personality somewhere around you. You might not completely be this person, there might be a little difference, but I'm sure you know somebody who is this personality. And the problems, the challenges that they face in their life is they have very difficult relationships. People are distant from them. Yeah, I'm sure each one of the things that I have written here, you are able to relate. So this is like a complete relation कि personality कैसे form हुई, क्या emotional intelligence के questions हैं because of which this personality has got formed, उसकी वजह से उनके beliefs क्या हैं, और उसकी वजह से उनकी life में आज की date में problems क्या हो रही है. So as you can see that there could be feeling of loneliness, very shallow connections. People don't like to come very close to these people. उनको लगता है ये पता नहीं कब क्या रिएक्ट कर देंगे, कब कैसा बोल देंगे, कब कैसा बिहेव करेंगे, कुछ नहीं पता. So and people don't like to be controlled by others, right? So that's why there are shallow connections. They have a superiority complex. Everybody talks behind their back कि यार इसको तो पता नहीं कितना एटीट्यूड है, and I don't know, I don't think I'll be able to work with him, or I'm not relationships भी sour होते जाते हैं, and that is why they have anxiety issues, because छोटी छोटी चीजों को वो बहुत ही बड़ा कर देते हैं. And health issues, especially hypertension, it starts from there, but it then obviously leads to other things. So now I want to ask you at this point of time that, are you able to see the connection between the emotional intelligence and the issues and the way our life is going, and the problems that might be coming in the life, and how things would be. Are you able to see this connection? Yeah. Okay, Simi is saying yes, because that's what I want. Survi is also saying it. That is exactly why I am giving stress and giving you example, so that आप देख सको कि कैसे yeah, thank you so much Ashish. So आप देख सकोगे कैसे इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस का कनेक्शन हमारी लाइफ में और इम्पैक्ट हमारे लाइफ के इमोशंस और बिहेवियर्स पे हो रहा है, एंड द प्रॉब्लम्स दैट वी फेस इन आवर लाइफ. या सो नाउ this was an example of a very strong left brain centric person, a very kind of we say that, a strong mindset person, somebody who has a very powerful personality. The second example that I'm going to give to you is of a more of a right brain person. As I'm sure you know that left brain people are very logical and very very result oriented, very ambitious. Similarly, we have right brain person who have more of empathy and emotions, and they're more creative and very very relationship oriented. So this is the second example. Again, this is one of the 8 styles only. It is not absolutely the style any of you would completely match. So now this is what I call as accommodating and polite. So you will see a lot of things that are opposite of the first style that we saw. High on relationship management. So ये relationship को manage करने के लिए कुछ भी करेंगे, कुछ भी adaptability, and that's why the adaptability is also high. So they will compromise, they will bend, they think that relationship ही सब कुछ है जिंदगी में, अगर relationships अच्छे नहीं है तो कुछ भी अच्छा नहीं है. That's the underlying belief that is there. They somehow ये personality का self esteem भी low होता है, because कहीं ना कहीं during their childhood they have not got that encouragement, they have not got that confidence from the parents or from the teachers, and they've not seen a lot of success also in life. So there is a low self esteem, or there might be people who have just told them that you're not good enough. So there is that's why also there is low assertiveness, because this is a category of people.
चावल दे दियो, चने दे दियो, खा लूंगा मैं तो बस. मैं तो सिंपल सा आदमी हूँ, तेरे को पता ही है, वैसे भी किसी को.
अरुण जी, we completely agree कि आप बिल्कुल simple हैं और आपकी वाली personality यहाँ पे नहीं है, but I'm sure that when we talk, we will talk about that as well. And let's move forward in the session. And first of all, thank you Arun ji for being here. I know Arun ji from another forum, and he always makes sure that he attends my sessions. So thank you so much for being here. So now
sir, Gaurav raised a hand. Would you like to take that?
Sure. Gaurav, is there a question that you have? Please go ahead. I couldn't see his. Yeah, Gaurav, please go ahead. Okay, so we'll come back to your question, Gaurav. I think we are just going to come back to questions in a few minutes only. So the second category, as I'm talking about, is the accommodating and polite ones. So as you can see that because the self-esteem is low, the underlying belief is कि अगर मैं कहीं पे strongly कुछ बोलूंगा या बोलूंगी तो मेरे relationships खराब हो जाएंगे. And that confidence and that courage is not there to be able to come across strongly, or to say no strongly. So then the low self-esteem is very low, the assertiveness is low, the empathy is very high, as I'm sure you can connect to that कि आप को हमेशा अपने आप को पीछे रखने की आदत है इन लोगों को, and दूसरों को आगे रखने की आदत है. Empathy होना अच्छा है, I'm not saying one should not have empathy, but a very high empathy, above average empathy, will make you make you forget your own self, forget your own needs, but put others need always ahead of you, right? So जैसे कहते हैं ना कि high empathy person is that जिनके लिए वो statement बिल्कुल correct है कि पहले अपना mask लगाइए फिर साथ में किसी और को मास्क की हेल्प करिए. या in the airplane we hear that, right? But still if a person is very high empathy, और अगर उनके साथ में उनका बच्चा बैठा है या उनके husband बैठे हैं तो वो कहेंगी, that lady would say कि नहीं पहले आप लगाओ, अगर उनके then only she would like to put her own mask. Yeah, so it is not only a lady thing. I'm sure there are a lot of men also who are there. By the way, let me tell you, one of the learnings that I've had is that emotional intelligence is generally independent of the gender. Yeah, yes, there are more women who are more right brain centric, but then aisa nahi hai. We get men as well who are right brain centric, who are more empathetic, and we get women as well. Yeah, so now there is of course low emotional regulation. So जैसा वो emotionally ज्यादा vulnerable feel करते हैं ये लोग, ज्यादा sensitive होते हैं और अपनी इमोशंस को कंट्रोल नहीं कर पाते, दे गेट इम्पैक्टेड अ लॉट बाय एनवायरनमेंट एंड बाय पीपल अराउंड देम. सोशल अवेयरनेस हाई होता है, जैसे मैंने बोला आपको कि बहुत ही ज्यादा एम्पैथेटिक होते हैं, दूसरों को कैसा लगता है, क्या चीजें उनके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो दे आर वेरी हाई ऑन सोशल अवेयरनेस but low on emotional expression as well. As I said, low assertiveness and also low emotional expression as well. Now, what happens to them? Because that is what is more important to understand. Of course, what happens to them is, and their beliefs are that they want to help everyone and to be supportive. I mean, I've written this word over, for you to understand that it becomes really over sometimes. Yeah. And does not express emotions easily, because the underlying belief is कि लोग अगर मैंने express किया कि मैं कैसा feel कर रही हूँ तो लोगों को उससे problem हो सकती है. People might judge me. One of the underlying belief they have is that people would judge me and I don't want people to judge me wrongly. Yeah. Anxious if people don't support them in the same. Yeah. And of course there is non-acceptance from others, which gives them stress. So there is a lot of stress that they come under. And of course they feel stressed when judged and criticized by others. Now problems kya hoti hai iski wajah se? That is what you need to look at. That the problems are that they're always at the receiving end of a relationship. Yeah, I'm sure lots of you people would be able to relate to what I'm saying here. आप खुद भी शायद ऐसी चीजें फील करते हो, या आपके साथ में कोई है, आपके पार्टनर, या आपके आपके आसपास आपके फ्रेंड्स हैं who are in this kind of a personality. People take you for granted, too dependent for support, always looking from affirmation and acceptance from others. Yeah, sad and miserable. We see them that at a drop of a hat, these people can become sad and they can go into their shell. Inferiority complex. As I said, that there is a low self-esteem and there is an inferiority complex. And they also have depressive tendencies, all of you. So health issues could be diabetes and autoimmune diseases. So I am not here to scare you really. I am here to tell you that let us become self-aware. Let us become get to know who we are, right? What is our emotional intelligence quotient? How emotionally intelligent we are, and then we will be able to handle our relationships better. We will be able to handle people better. We will be able to handle our own self better. Yeah. And of course all of this impacts the personal and the professional life. Yeah. So let me ask you a question before I move ahead, because I am now coming to the fag end and or going towards the solution, that what should we do really, after understanding this. But let me ask each one of you, that are you able to relate to this second personality, and are you able to see people around you or in yourself that yes, these are the kind of issues that crop up in life, yeah, and that are cropping up in our lives. So Nina is saying, yes, we can relate to them. Yes. So as I shared in the previously as well, that you might not be this personality absolutely, because there are combinations, there are various combinations that are there. Surbi is saying old version of me. Absolutely. So I'm sure you would have worked upon yourself, Surbi. That is why you're calling this to be an old version of you. So now what is that we should be doing? Because आपके लिए important है कि अगर हमें अपनी लाइफ का ऑर्बिट चेंज करना है, जैसा कि कुछ लोगों ने ऑलरेडी किया है एंड और भी लोगों को करने की जरूरत है. आपको शायद किसी एक एरिया में आप कर चुके हो, बट और एरियाज में भी करने की जरूरत है. सो यू नीड टू फर्स्ट अंडरस्टैंड हु आर यू. So with the help of an emotional intelligence assessment, you can find out what is your personality and who are you. You need to understand what are the underlying beliefs that are stopping you from the change, that are the bottlenecks for you, which are the limiting beliefs for you which needs to be changed. Of course, learn to change your belief system. and learn to reset your mind to be emotionally intelligent. So this is what, you know, is needed. This is what is needed to be able to change your life's orbit, because we've been talking about how can the orbit be changed, and all of this is that external push, or that external work, external and internal work. I'm sure only external will not work here. A lot of internal work also has to be done to be able to change the life's orbit. Now, how can that happen? And how can this program that I have been talking about, which is change your life's orbit, we call it Silo. This is a name that Ashish, in fact, gave it to the program, change your life's orbit. And thank you, Ashish. I think it's a great acronym over there. So what you need to do, how it can change, this program can help you is, you can first take the self assessment, which will tell you your emotional intelligence quotient and your personalities type. Yeah, like I just shared with you. So Nina is saying, at this age, can we change our belief system? So Nina, I'll come to that question. Yeah, it's a great question, and I think each one of us might be having that thought a little bit behind in the subconscious mind कि यार belief system तो अब बन चुके हैं ना, तो कैसे उनको change किया जा सकता है? Yes. So again, there is the belief system. In fact, let me take this question now only, because I'm talking about how a belief system can be changed. So yes, they can be changed, it can be impacted, but it can be impacted with the individual session that this program brings to you, in which, I understand your belief system. There are some therapies that are used to influence the belief system. It does not get in, by the way, it just doesn't get changed by only discussion and talking. There is definitely some therapies that are used. For example, I like to share with you, lots of people, Ashish just said when we started the session that he lost his father very early in his life. So all of that has impacted a lot on the life, and has created some belief systems. There are a lot of us who are still carrying the brunt of losing a loved one. And therapy, there is a therapy that can help in that, that you create an acceptance of loss, acceptance of your own self. If there is a lower self esteem, that means there is an issue of acceptance of your own self. And then, the a therapy which helps when we go back to the childhood, and where we understand that that belief is coming from, why you are not able to accept your own self. Yeah. So that is, there are these therapies which are used to influence the belief system, and this coaching and hand holding to enhance your emotional intelligence, because each and every facet is worked upon to be able to enhance your emotional intelligence. So this is what this program does to you, as I shared with you, that the next step. And now, of course, I will take your questions as well, but from my side, I would say, if you really want to work upon yourself, the next step should be getting your self assessment done. So first of all, let me ask you this question, that how many of you would like to know that what is your emotional intelligence quotient, and what according to that is your personality? How many of you would like to know about that? Some of you have already sent me a request for self assessment. Nina, I have thank you so much for sharing. Ritu is also saying, of course, they want to know. Nina, I have shared with you the link because you sent me a request for the self assessment, and I hope you have received the link as well. So, yes, so if you want to know what is your personality style, the first step is to get your self assessment done. And, the self assessment that we have is available to you at a very nominal price of just 1000 rupees. So what comes to you in this self assessment is that we share. Yes, so okay, so Ritu, I am going to share that link with you on a email. We will share with you after the program. We will send you a proper email which would have the link. Yeah, as I shared with the participants of previous session as well. So there would be a link. You take that self assessment. Along with that self assessment, I will be sharing after that, when I receive your result, a report which would be a 4-pager report, and then I will call you for half an hour to tell you about your personality style and what your report is saying about you. Yeah, so this is a very nominal cost of 1,000 rupees only, which will give you a kind of mirror of your own self and your own emotional quotient, and where all you need to work upon to become more emotionally intelligent. After that, if you want to work upon yourself through this workshop and through my help, then you can enroll for the program as well, which is the Change Your Life Orbit program that I have. So, but it is completely dependent on you. I am saying you can start with the self assessment and then take a call of enrolling for the program if you want to or if you don't want to, right? So that is
I have a question.
yeah.
I have a question. See, is it also to do with psychometric interpreter? Is this
Yes.
question?
No. So basically, I'll tell you.
Hello?
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. Yeah,
Can
I'm
I
able to hear you. Yes.
can I know whose question that is? I'm not
No, this Suresh here.
Suresh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Suresh, this is a very very simple emotional intelligence questionnaire that I have
Okay.
created. It
Okay.
is. I would not say that it is. I would not rate it to the psychometric level, because
Okay.
the moment a psychometric level is where there are thousands of assessments that are taken. Yeah.
Right.
This is okay. Let me tell you. So I have been studying. I'm a certified psychometric assessor for extended disc. I
Okay.
am also an assessor for emotional intelligence.
Okay.
The emotional intelligence assessment that I am certified in has 169 questions. Yeah. And on
Okay.
the basis of that, the whole report comes in. But this assessment that I am sharing, it's the simpler version, which I feel on the basis of the research that I have done on emotional intelligence and personality styles and my own research, I have created this small questionnaire. And that is where, on the basis of the answers that you give, I will be able to place that what are your belief systems and then your personality style. Okay. So this is really not any other psychometric assessment, or it's a research based assessment that I have created on my own. Okay. So that is and I have shared with you the example as well, that how on the basis of a high or a low or a medium facets, how is your personality being formed from there. Okay. So that is what it is, and that's why I would not call it not like to name it psychometric. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
As a word. So now I am before I make the forum open for questions, because I'm sure each one of you would have some questions. We I would like to hand over for a few minutes to Ashish, because he would like to hear from you and take feedback from you of the session that we have had today.